Imagine speaking just one kind word, and diamonds pour from your lips, but one cruel sentence, and slimy toads crawl out of your mouth forever. What if kindness was punished and pride richly rewarded? This twisted fairy tale shocked the world for centuries. Stay till the end, you won't believe who wins, and who dies alone in the forest. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the darkest, most twisted classic fairy tales ever written, Diamonds and Toads, originally called Les Fées, by Charles Perrault in 1697. This isn't your typical happily ever after story. It's a brutal moral fable where goodness gets betrayed. Vanity seems to triumph at first, and the ending leaves you questioning justice itself. Perrault, the master behind Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Little Red Riding Hood, crafted this tale to teach harsh lessons about kindness, speech, and human nature. Picture a poor, humble girl forced to fetch water from a distant well every day by her cruel mother and jealous older sister. The mother dotes on the elder daughter, who is rude, lazy, and vain, while treating the younger one like a servant. One fateful day, the kind sister meets a disguised fairy at the well. Her polite words change everything. But when the greedy sister tries to copy her, disaster strikes. This story explores how our words reveal our true character, and how society often rewards the wrong people. We'll break it down scene by scene, uncover the shocking twists, and discuss why Perrault made the ending so tragic. If you've never heard the full, unfiltered version, prepare yourself. This tale doesn't pull punches. Let's begin with the cruel household setup that sets the tragedy in motion. In a remote village lived a bitter widow with 2 daughters. The elder one mirrored her mother's personality, arrogant, ill-tempered, spoiled, and utterly selfish. She spent her days lounging, complaining, and ordering everyone around. The younger daughter, beautiful inside and out, was gentle, humble, and endlessly patient. Despite her kindness, she was forced to do all the hardest chores, scrubbing floors, tending the fire, carrying heavy loads, and worst of all, walking miles each day to fetch water from the forest. Well, the mother hated her for no real reason, except that her goodness highlighted the family's ugliness. The elder sister, named something like Fanny in some versions, mocked her constantly, calling her worthless and ugly even though she was the pretty one. Every evening the poor girl returned exhausted, yet she never complained. She believed that patience and love would one day be rewarded. Little did she know a supernatural test awaited her. Perrault paints this family dynamic to show how favoritism poisons homes, how loving the wrong child destroys everyone. The mother saw only her elder daughter's flaws as virtues because they matched her own. This blind partiality creates the perfect storm for tragedy. One scorching afternoon, as the younger sister struggled with her heavy pitcher, she reached the well and found an old woman sitting there, weary and thirsty. Most people would have ignored her or hurried past, but the kind girl immediately offered her a drink without hesitation. She knelt, filled the pitcher, and handed it over politely. That simple act of compassion triggered the fairy's magic. The old woman transformed into a radiant fairy, revealing she had come to test human hearts. Now the real story begins. The fairy, impressed by the girl's genuine politeness and lack of pride, decided to bestow a magical gift. She declared, "Because you spoke so sweetly and helped me without expecting reward, from this moment on, Every word you utter will cause either a flower or a precious jewel to fall from your lips." The girl, stunned, thanked the fairy humbly. As she spoke her thanks, 2 roses, 2 pearls, and 2 sparkling diamonds tumbled out, glittering on the ground. She gathered them in awe, hardly believing her eyes. The fairy smiled and vanished, leaving the girl to hurry home, her heart pounding with wonder and fear. When she finally reached the house, her mother immediately scolded her for taking so long. "Where have you been, you lazy girl? Did you waste time daydreaming again?" The daughter apologized softly. "Forgive me, mother, I didn't mean to delay." Instantly more roses, pearls, and diamonds poured from her mouth, scattering across the floor like treasure. The mother and elder sister froze in shock. At first they thought it was a trick, but as the girl nervously explained what happened at the well, more jewels fell. Rubies, emeralds, sapphires, each word richer than the last. Greed ignited in the mother's eyes. She realized this gift could make them wealthy beyond imagination. But instead of gratitude, jealousy twisted her face. She turned to her favored elder daughter and said, "You must go to the well tomorrow and do exactly what your sister did. Get the same blessing or else." The elder sister, already plotting how to spend the riches, agreed eagerly. She imagined herself drowning in gold and jewels, admired by everyone. But she had no idea the fairy's magic judged character, not imitation. The stage was set for the cruel sister's downfall. The next morning, the elder sister set off for the well, carrying the pitcher with annoyance instead of duty. She grumbled the entire way, complaining about the heat, the dirt, and how unfair it was that she had to walk at all. When she reached the well, the same disguised old woman appeared, asking politely for a drink. The elder sister sneered. "Why should I serve you, old hag? Fetch your own water. I'm here for my own fortune, not to play servant." Her words dripped with contempt and rudeness. The fairy, still in disguise, replied calmly, "Very well. Since you choose cruelty over kindness, I grant you this. Every word you speak from now on will release either a snake or a toad from your mouth." The sister laughed mockingly, thinking it a joke, and stormed off without offering any water. As she walked home, she muttered insults under her breath. And sure enough, a fat toad plopped out, followed by a writhing viper. She screamed in horror, but more reptiles fell with every cry. By the time she burst through the door, her mouth was a nightmare. She tried to explain to her mother, "An old witch cursed me," but as she spoke, toads and snakes poured out, slithering across the floor. The mother shrieked, recoiling in disgust. The house filled with hissing and croaking. The elder sister's vanity shattered instantly. No prince would ever court her now. No one could stand near her without risking a snake bite. The mother, horrified by the sight and smell, blamed the younger daughter for everything. "This is your fault. Your stupid kindness brought this curse on us." Rage consumed her. She grabbed a stick to beat the innocent girl. Terrified, the younger sister fled the house, running into the dark forest as her mother and sister hurled abuse after her. Alone and sobbing, she wandered deeper among the trees, diamonds and flowers falling with every heartbroken word. She had lost her home, her family, everything simply for being kind. Exhaustion overtook her, and she collapsed near a stream, weeping bitterly. Unknown to her, a handsome prince was hunting nearby. He heard soft crying and followed the sound. When he found her, he saw a beautiful young woman surrounded by glittering jewels and blooming flowers. Intrigued, he asked gently, "Why are you crying, fair maiden? what sorrow brings you to this lonely place?" She lifted her tear-streaked face and answered softly, "My own mother and sister have driven me away." With those words, 6 perfect pearls and 6 brilliant diamonds fell from her lips, sparkling in the sunlight. The prince's eyes widened in amazement. He had never seen such magic. He knelt beside her and urged, "Tell me your entire story, please." As she recounted everything, the fairy at the well, the blessing, her sister's curse, the mother's rage, more treasures poured forth, roses, emeralds, sapphires. Each detail made the jewels multiply. The prince listened, entranced not just by the riches, but by her gentle voice and humble spirit. He realized no woman in his kingdom could match her virtue or beauty. When she finished, he took her hand and said, "Come with me to my palace. My father the king will welcome you, and I wish to make you my wife." For the first time, hope flickered in her heart. The forest, once a place of exile, now became the path to her destiny. The prince led the girl to his royal palace, where the king and queen awaited. As she entered the grand hall and curtsied deeply, a cascade of diamonds rolled across the marble floor like a river of light. The royal court gasped in wonder. The king, wise and just, asked her to speak freely about her life. She told her tale again, every detail of hardship, kindness, betrayal, and magic. With each sentence, flowers bloomed and jewels rained down, filling the room with fragrance and sparkle. The queen, moved to tears, embraced her like a daughter. The king declared, "This girl's heart is worth more than all the treasures in my kingdom. Her words alone bring greater wealth than gold mines." The prince, already in love, proposed marriage on the spot. The girl, overwhelmed but grateful, accepted. Preparations for the grand wedding began immediately. Messengers spread the news across the land. A humble girl blessed by a fairy would become princess. Meanwhile, back in the village, the elder sister and mother suffered terribly. Every time the elder sister opened her mouth to complain or demand, more snakes and toads emerged. The house became infested. Neighbors fled in terror. The mother, once so proud, now hid in shame. She tried to force her daughter to stay silent, but silence only bred more resentment. Eventually, the mother's disgust turned to hatred. She screamed, "Get out! You're ruining us!" and drove the elder daughter from the home. Alone, friendless, and cursed, the vain sister wandered into the same forest where she met a miserable end. Perrault doesn't soften this fate. He states plainly she perished miserably in the woods, rejected by all. The contrast is stark. Kindness, though punished by humans, rewarded by fate. Pride and cruelty, though favored at first, led to utter ruin. Perrault ends his tale with 2 powerful morals in verse. The first, diamonds and gold may dazzle the eye, but gentle, courteous words are worth far more. They win hearts forever. The second, though kindness is sometimes difficult and brings trouble at first, it is always rewarded in the end, often when least expected. These lines capture the story's core message. Words are magic. They reveal our soul. Kind speech creates beauty and connection. Harsh speech breeds poison and isolation. The tale warns against judging by appearances or wealth. The younger sister's external poverty hid inner richness. The elder's outward favor masked inner rot. Perrault, writing for the French court, subtly critiqued vanity, favoritism, and superficiality among the aristocracy. He showed that true nobility comes from character, not birth or gold. In many ways, this is an anti-fairy tale. Goodness suffers before triumphing. Evil seems to win briefly but collapses. The tragic death of the elder sister shocks modern readers. but in Perrault's time it served as a stark warning. Vice leads to destruction. No redemption is offered to the cruel. The story belongs to the Arndt Thompson type 480, the kind and unkind girls, appearing in cultures worldwide, from Frau Hall in Germany to tales in Japan and Russia. Yet Perrault's version stands out for its harsh realism and focus on speech as the ultimate test of virtue. Today it reminds us, in a world obsessed with likes, followers, and appearance, genuine kindness still shines brightest, and sometimes the softest words create the greatest fortune. Let's reflect deeper on the symbolism. The well represents a threshold between ordinary life and the magical, between testing and transformation. Drawing water is humble labor, yet it becomes the site of divine judgment. The fairies' disguise teaches that help often comes in unexpected, unglamorous forms. Ignoring the old woman would have cost the kind sister her blessing. Rudeness cost the elder everything. The jewels and flowers symbolize the beauty of polite, loving language, precious, fragrant life, giving. Toads and snakes represent toxic speech, venomous, repulsive, destructive. Perrault links verbal cruelty to literal poison, a powerful metaphor still relevant in our age of online hate and bullying. The mother's favoritism destroys her family unit, showing how unchecked bias breeds resentment and ruin. The prince's role isn't just romantic. He's the instrument of cosmic justice, recognizing virtue where family failed. The wedding signifies restoration. Goodness not only survives, but ascends to highest honor. The elder sister's forest death underscores isolation as the ultimate punishment for cruelty. No one will shelter vice forever. Perrault refuses easy forgiveness. He demands accountability. This tale challenges us. Are we the kind sister or the cruel one in our daily words? Do we speak life or death? In relationships, workplaces, social media, our speech shapes our fate. The story endures because it forces self-examination. Kindness isn't weakness, it's power. Vanity isn't strength, it's poison. Grace may be punished temporarily by the world, but pride is eternally rewarded with emptiness. That's the tragic, timeless truth Perrault immortalized. Over centuries, Diamonds and Toads has inspired countless adaptations, retellings, and analyses. Andrew Lang included it in the Blue Fairy Book. Modern authors like Gail Carson Levine reimagined it in The Fairies' Mistake. Heather Tomlinson's novel Toads and Diamonds adds depth and fantasy layers. Even in pop culture, echoes appear. Think of cursed speech in anime or Beauty, and the Beast reversals. Psychologists see it as an archetype of projection. The mother projects her flaws onto the good daughter while excusing them in the bad one. Feminists note its commentary on women's voices, how society silences the kind while amplifying the cruel. Yet truth prevails. In education, it's used to teach empathy, consequences, and the power of words. Children learn early. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. But Perrault's version is darker, no gentle lesson, but a grim reminder that life isn't always fair in the short term. The younger sister's suffering makes her triumph sweeter. The elder's brief advantage makes her fall harder. This balance creates emotional impact. If you're creating content around fairy tales, this one stands apart. It's not cute or comforting. It's cautionary, raw, unforgettable. It forces viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature. Whether you're team kindness or secretly relate to the vain sister's greed, the tale holds up a mirror. And that's why it still captivates us in 2025. Because the battle between grace and pride never ends. We've reached the end of this deep dive into Diamonds and Toads, a tale of grace punished and pride rewarded. What started as a simple well-side encounter became a profound lesson on character, speech, and justice. Perrault didn't write fluff. He wrote warnings wrapped in magic. Kindness, though trampled by family and fate, ultimately triumphs. Vanity and cruelty, though pampered at first, collapse into misery. The story lingers because it feels true. We've all seen good people suffer, while the arrogant prosper until they don't. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If this tale moved you, shocked you, or made you reflect on your own words, drop a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. Which sister did you relate to more? Have you ever witnessed kindness rewarded or pride punished in real life? Let me know. I read every comment. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our next fairy tale deep dive. We're covering more dark classics soon. Until then, remember, your words have power. Choose kindness. They might just turn into diamonds. Thanks again for being here. See you in the next video. Take care and speak gently out there. If you loved this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more twisted fairy tale breakdowns, and turn on the bell so you never miss an upload. Comment your favorite moral from the story below. What lesson hit you hardest? Share this with a friend who needs a reminder about kindness.